Hi, I cannot believe another month is over and it's time to do another wrap up. It's the end of December, which means it's the end of the year, which is like literally insane. I can't believe it's the end of the year. When you get close to the end of the year, you're like, oh no, did I reach my reading goal? And I will touch on that in my yearly wrap up video. But I will say that I read more than normal this month trying to get to that goal. So I read 13 books in December, which is a high amount for me. I read 3 physical books, 3 ebooks, and 7 audiobooks. So since I read more books than normal, I'm going to try to briefly go over them to try to get through this quickly. But yeah, so I will go ahead and get the Christmas books out of the way. So the first book I finished this month, I think, was A Royal Christmas Fairy Tale by Karen Scholar, I don't know. I read this book in a reading vlog. I did an unboxing and reading vlog video for Once Upon a Book Club, which is a subscription box. So I did a video talking about that, unboxing like the gifts in it and also talking about my opinions on it. So you can go more in depth with that video. But basically this reporter gets hired to come spend Christmas with this family in, you know, some made up country, and it turns out to be a royal family, and she's hired to write a like fairy tale using their traditions, but like the prince doesn't want her there, and you know, it's a romance. I did not really like this book that much. I thought I was gonna really like it because this author wrote A Christmas Prince, like on Netflix, that movie, and I love that movie, that series, but I came to the conclusion that I just like her better as a screenplay writer than a book writer. It just like, I feel like if this story was a movie, I would have liked it better. And because it wasn't, it just kind of fell flat for me. God, I read this so long ago, I kind of forgot what I thought. It was Christmassy, but something just like felt off. There was like cute moments, but like overall, it was just kind of blah. There was a lot of cliches and a lot of tropes. And normally I like that kind of thing, but it just like didn't really work in this book. It was kind of boring. There was like not really any depth in it. And like they set it up for there to be depth, like their backstories, but like I just didn't really care. So it was like kind of cute, but kind of forgettable. I think I decided on 3 stars, which is generous, but I think it's because like it was Christmassy and I did think it was like a pretty setup. And like it was like sort of entertaining. I feel like 3 stars is like kind of generous, but that's where we're at because like it was Christmassy. Like it was like one of those forgettable Christmas movies that I do love. So that was that book. The next Christmas book I'm going to talk about is Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. I also read this in a reading vlog, or part of it. I did like a cozy Saturday vlog and I finished this book in that. But basically this is another Christmas romance. This girl owns a Christmas tree farm and she enters this contest that a social media like influencer is doing, and she lies on the application, says she owns the farm with her boyfriend. She doesn't have a boyfriend, so her best friend pretends to be her boyfriend for the contest. The book spans from like the end of November into December. It's like not super Christmassy, but also the like Christmas tree farm and like all the features of the farm and the way that was written felt really Christmassy to me, so I did really like that. I didn't love this book. I felt like, because it's like friends to lovers and fake dating. So it's like all the tropes I really liked. Small town, but like, I don't know, it was really cute, but I didn't like absolutely love it. I landed on 4 stars for this one because I do want to finish the series because I did like the writing and I did like the town. And it's like a series, of course, where each book follows like a different couple. So I do want to learn more about those characters because I did really like the other characters in the book. So I will be continuing this series. So it was pretty cute. So those are the 2 physical Christmas books I read. I also read an ebook called Starry Night by Debbie McComber. And I have mixed feelings about her books. This is the 3rd Christmas one I've read. And this book was like pretty short. It felt like a Christmas movie, which means it was kind of like, oh, let me say what this one's about. Okay, so this is about another like reporter. She is going to quit her job because she like the like column she writes, she doesn't, it's like not what she wants to do, but her boss won't give her another column. So she's like, I'm going to quit. And he's like, if you write a story about this author who's never given anyone a story before, you can have whatever column you want. She's like, okay. And she does all this research and she does track him down and ends up like blizzard into his cabin for a couple days. And yeah, so this one was really short. It was like insta-lovey, and like I know it's like a Christmas story, so a lot of them are insta-love because it's like Christmas time is a short time. The third act breakup, like third act breakups like never really bother me that much in romance because it's like you know it's happening, you know it's coming. But like this one like really bothered me. Like I don't know, I just didn't really like it. And then it was like all of a sudden the book was over and I was like, where's the rest of it? Like I don't know, it was just really short, but it was like cute. I did find them really cute. I liked when they flirted with each other. It was very sweet and it did, you know, I like Christmas books, so this one was all right. I also gave this one 3 stars because it was like cute but forgettable. And the last Christmassy book I read this month was called Whiteout. I read this as an audiobook. This one was like set right before Christmas, but like wasn't very Christmassy. Basically, it's about teenagers. It's YA. And it's kind of like a Love Actually type storyline where it's like different points of view of different couples and then they all end up like tied together. And so the main plot is there's this couple and they're like in a fight, they broke up, whatever, and the one's trying to win back the other one and she gave her until midnight. And so all of their friends are like running around trying to do stuff for this like big romantic gesture to like get this girl back. And so like every chapter it like starts with the girl trying to like win her girlfriend back, and then the next chapter is like a point of view of one of her friends and like they're and like that person's significant other that they end up with, and then back to the original girl, and then another friend and their significant other. And it was like multiple storylines of either second chance romance or friends to lovers, and it was like really cute. And I did like enjoy hearing each like couple's storyline, but like it was so they were such teenagers and it was like so over the top. And it's like teenagers are dramatic, but it was like the big grand gesture is like no teenager could ever pull that off. What are you talking about? So it's like all these teens like running around. And oh, the other plot is that the city that they're in is like, there's like a blizzard. Okay. I don't think it was even a blizzard. I think it's a city that doesn't get very much snow. So they got snow and then they freaked out or whatever. There's a big snowstorm happening. And then all these teens are running around trying to do this like grand gesture thing. And it was just like so over the top. And I was just like kind of over it. And like, I know I'm not the audience because I'm an adult, but like, it just felt like too much, you know? But it was like cute. It was like not, they like brought up Christmas, but it didn't feel Christmassy because it wasn't about Christmas. And then this was written after 2020, I guess, because they brought up the pandemic a lot. And it's like, it was like mentioning it in passing to show that it existed. And I haven't read very many books that take place like post-pandemic because like I don't read very many new releases, so I don't have much experience with it, and I don't know if I have a problem with it or not. But for this one it was just like kind of annoying because like once or twice would have been fine, but it was like each point of view brought it up. They found some way to bring it up in each point of view, like, oh, my uncle this, oh, my dad this, well, during the pandemic this. And it's like, this is like post 2020, like we get it, you don't gotta keep bringing it up. So that was just like an ick I had. And yeah, I was just like over Christmas at this point with books. So those are all the Christmas books I read. I think I'm just gonna quickly go through all the audiobooks I read now because most of them I didn't like. So actually the first audiobook I finished this month was The First to Die at the End. So this is the prequel to They Both Die in the End, I think is the name of the book, which I read last year. Honestly, don't remember if it was this year or last year, whatever. I did read the original book. So basically, if you don't know what They Both Die at the End is about, there's this like futuristic world where they know the day people are gonna die. And so you get a call like at midnight that tells you you're gonna die that day. And you don't know how you're gonna die, you just know you will die. And there's nothing you can do to prevent it. Because it's like, oh, if you were gonna go on a plane that day, you don't go on the plane, you're still gonna die, like whatever. And so this is a prequel, so this book is about, it's called Deathcast, is like the company that does it. So this is how Deathcast got created or whatever. And so this book takes place the first day that Deathcast is around. So it's like 8 years, I think, before the other book. And it was like so interesting to like see like what the world thought about it. It's all fictional, but like it was just like made me think about like how our world would react to something like that. And it was like really thought-provoking. So I liked that. I can't tell if I like this one more because I already know the world or if I just liked these characters more, but I was definitely like enjoying the chemistry between these two characters more than the chemistry in the other book. Because I don't know, that author, just the way he writes characters, I get so attached to them and I'm so sad when they die. Because like that's the plot of the book, you know? So I did really enjoy this one, and I definitely want to look into more of the books he has written because I really like how he writes characters and the chemistry between the characters. So then, you know, I'm trying to get through some books to like reach my reading goal. And I decided to give the Vampire Diaries books another chance because they're like kind of short, you know. They're like the audiobooks are like 6 or 7 hours, you know. It's quick. Yeah. The books don't get any better. They don't. And not at all. So I read the first one in like July or August or something, and I did not like it, but I decided to read more. So I read the second, the third, and the fourth one this month. So the second one is called The Struggle, the third one is The Fury, and the fourth one is The Dark Reunion. So this is the like original Vampire Diaries series. It was from like 91 or something. And then, of course, there's like multiple spin-off series since then. I watched the Vampire Diaries show, like everyone has. I watched it like 3 times. I really, really love that show, actually. So I wanted to see the like original content that it was like based off, you know? Because usually the book is better. The book's not better. The book is not better at all. So if you don't know what Vampire Diaries is about, the main character, her name is Elena Gilbert, and she discovers these vampires living in her town. And they're brothers. There's like 2 of them. There's Stefan and Damon. And the books are so bad. They are so bad. And I've read YA books that I really, really like. And these are the YA books that like give YA a bad reputation. Like they were just like the first one was like all right. Like the first one gave me like nostalgia for watching the show the first time. The way the narrator reads like Elena's inner monologue, it reminds me of the actress that plays Elena. And so like it was like I liked the first one because it was like nostalgia for that kind of feeling. But like the other ones, it got bad. I just feel like I don't even know. I don't know. This is my notes, okay? My notes. Bad, boring, overdramatic, not interesting. The show is so much better. It didn't, like the second one didn't give me nostalgia the first one gave me. So for the third one I wrote, it got worse, then better, then worse again. And I didn't bother writing notes for the fourth one. Like it was bad. It was bad. The show is so good and I hope the books would like give me something the show gave me. Also, when I say the show is good, like I know it's not. Like the show is not good, but like it is good, you know? Like I know it's not good, but it's entertaining and I love it. So anyway, I will probably not be reading any more of those books. I finished the original 4-book series and I cannot do anymore. So the last audiobook I listened to in December was the second Percy Jackson book, which is Sea of Monsters. And I love Percy Jackson. I read the books in middle school, like everyone does. And I feel like, I can't remember if I read them more than once or not. I know I read the first one multiple times. It's been a while though. So I decided to start rereading them because of the show coming out. And I reread the first one last month, I think. So I reread the second one in December and I did not put any notes down. So Percy Jackson, if you don't know, it's like Greek mythology. So it's like these children are the children of the Greek gods and they're called half-bloods because like one parent is a god, one parent's human. And they go to this camp to like train to be like heroes like Hercules. And yeah, Percy Jackson is the son of Poseidon and the big 3. So Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades aren't allowed to have children. So he is the son of Poseidon, and so he is like really targeted by monsters. And there's like, you know, there's a prophecy because of course there is. And yeah, so this is the second one. I really love the way these books are written because they're middle grade, but like you don't really feel like you're reading middle grade. Like the story is like simple to understand. So like people in middle school can read it just fine, or even younger, you know, like 9-year-olds, whatever. But it's like I'm an adult, like I'm almost 25 years old and I'm like thoroughly enjoying my reread of these books. Like the story is like captivating and the humor still stands like 20 years later. And it's not like it's humor that like young kids can enjoy and also adults. Like it's really rare that humor can withstand time and can be like enjoyed by multiple age groups. Like I just really like the way these books are written. I just love the story and it is very easy to forget that it's about children because they kill people left and right, no hesitation. And by people I mean like monsters, but like still, it's traumatic. But they're just like, okay, cut your head off. Okay, back to our adventure. And yeah, but yeah, I'm enjoying my reread. I haven't decided if I'm gonna continue rereading the series right now or take a break, but I liked it. Okay, so those were not all the audiobooks I listened to. I totally forgot that I also started the Enola Holmes series, which is a middle grade series written about Sherlock Holmes's like little sister, Enola, and there is the Netflix movies that has Millie Bobby Brown in it. So I read the first one in December as an audiobook. That one's called The Case of the Missing Marquess. I'm not really sure how to say that. So basically, like, Enola is a lot younger than Sherlock and Mycroft, and so like they're both like adults and like in London doing their own thing, and then like their mom has her, and so she was raised kind of like an only child with just her mother because their father passed away, and so she was raised like a lot differently and very like free and not like a proper lady, because you know this is like the 1800s. And then her mom disappears, and so the brothers are called in and they're like, well, Enola, you need to go to school, like you're going to like a boarding school. And so she like runs away because she's like, I'm not doing that. And she ends up in London and she like takes on different personas to try to hide from her brothers, but then she ends up like solving cases because I mean she's Sherlock's little sister. And so yeah, for the first one, I really liked it. I've only watched the first movie, and it's not like exactly the same, but like I feel like the movie summarized the feelings from the book pretty well. And the book is just like short, sweet, simple, cute. I enjoyed it, and I don't really have much to say about it. It's cute. Honestly, it doesn't feel that much like middle grade to me. Like it's written because it tries to mimic language from the 1800s. Not that it's like hard to understand, but it does kind of mimic that language. So like I'm reading it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be middle grade. Not that it's not graphic. It's just like written, I don't know. It's trying to match the time period, you know? And then, so that was the first book I did as an audiobook, and then I read the second book later in the month. That one is called The Case of the Left-Handed Lady. So again, she's, you know, still out on her own, solving stuff, hiding from her brothers. These books are really cute. I really want to continue the series and like watch Enola like mature and grow, because she's already so smart. I just want to like see what else she's gonna do, you know? And I'm not sure if the second movie follows the second book at all, because like I said, I haven't watched the second movie, but I need to watch it because I did like the first one. What else did I read this month? Okay, so I think I only have 2 more books left to talk about. So the last physical book I read of the month was Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is a really popular romantasy right now. I'm not big on TikTok, but I think this was really big on TikTok because like the author was like on TikTok as she was writing it, so it was very anticipated coming out. So basically this has been compared to the Hunger Games. And in this world, there was this plague that left people with abilities. Not long after the plague, the king decided to rid the kingdom all the ordinaries, people that did not have powers, because they were like diluting the bloodline or whatever, and they were making them sick and blah. So the main character of this book, I think her name is pronounced Peyton. She's an ordinary, but her dad raised her to mimic the psychic abilities so she can pretend to be an elite. And she saves the prince. Like she saves his life, and so as a reward to honor her, she's put into the trials that they have in this kingdom. Every 6 years, every like 5 or 6 years or something, it's not every year, they do these things called the purging trials. They select elite teenagers to compete in these trials. It's like an honor thing, and so she is put into these trials with all these elites, and none of them know she doesn't have an ability, and then one of them is the prince she saved. And yeah, so compared to the Hunger Games, because of that, of course, there's like a rebellion and there is like a romance in it. And I really, really enjoyed this. I was really, really into it. It's dual point of view. So you get her point of view and the Prince Kai. And their like chemistry and their banter is like top notch. I really, really enjoyed it because it's like enemies to lovers. Because she hates the royalty for like what they've done to like her people, you know? So yeah, this one I really, really liked. But yeah, I just went back and forth between trying to decide if I absolutely loved it or just really liked it, and I think I landed on a 4.5 star rating because like I loved it, but like I don't know. Yeah, I was like trying to guess where it was going and I did not guess, but I'm really excited for the next one. It comes out summer of 2024, I think, so looking forward to that a lot because this was like really fun to read. And the last book I finished in December, which was also the last book I finished of the year, was Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. This is the most recent book in the Shadowhunters series. I love Cassandra Clare. I love the Shadowhunters world. I read all the books, most of them more than once. I started reading those books 10 years ago. I've been reading them a long time. And Chain of Thorns came out in January of 2023. And I started it when it came out. And I just kept putting it back down. Like I didn't dislike it. I just think I didn't want it to end because it's the last in a trilogy. And I think that trilogy, the Last Hours trilogy is what it's called, is my favorite of that world. But I would just like pick it up, read a chunk, put it down. And I was like, okay, it's December. It's the last month of the year. I need to like actually finish it this year. So I did finish that the last day of December. And I liked it. I feel like I can't really go much into the plot because it's like the end of the trilogy. I don't know how to describe the plot at all. Well, I'll talk about Shadowhunters if you don't know. I know the world can be kind of confusing to people who haven't read the series before. I do plan on doing a video like sitting down explaining like reading orders and the different series and stuff, because to me it makes sense, but that's because I started reading the books and there's only 3 of them published. But basically Shadowhunters are beings that have angel blood and they're called Nephilim, and they basically are like heightened humans and they can see downworld, which are like vampires, werewolves, warlocks, and the fae, and then they kill demons to protect humans, mundanes. And yeah, so the Shadowhunter world like has different trilogies set over different time periods, and so this is one of the earlier ones set in like early 1900s, I think. And this is like the sequel series to the prequel series, which like makes no sense. But yeah, it follows kids of some of the characters in another series, and they're like teenagers going through like their own things. And yeah, I think this trilogy is my favorite. I think the second book was my favorite in the trilogy. The third one I liked, but it was just like, I don't know, there's so much going on, and the ending, like the big battle, was kind of anticlimactic when it finally ended, but it was still a really good book. Like I love all of her books so much. I love that world so much. And yeah, so I think that was all 13 books I read in December. I jumped around a lot, but I think that was all of them. So yeah, it was a pretty good reading month. I didn't like love every book I read, but I did like some of them a lot. Now I'm going to talk about the books I acquired in December. This will be very brief. So I got my pre-order of Ruthless Vows came in. This is a sequel to Divine Rivals. I haven't read it yet because I was like trying to finish up books I was already in the middle of. But I do plan on reading this one in January because I'm very excited for this. I also got this book. It's called Bloodless, and the authors are Preston and Child. I think it's 2 authors that like write together. Basically, me and my boyfriend picked this book out to read together. It's a mystery book that is about the plane that was like hijacked and disappeared or whatever, and it's like a modern day mystery trying to solve it or whatever. Like it's fictional. The plane was real, the book is fictional. But yeah, so we're gonna read that sometime soon probably. And then I got 8 books total for Christmas, but I went over all these in my Christmas haul video, so you can like watch that. So yes, I acquired 10 books total, but 8 were gifts. So for the last chunk of this video is like my bookish thoughts of December. And I will talk about 2 things. First, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the Percy Jackson Disney Plus series. So when I'm filming this, there are 3 episodes out that I've watched. I think there's only 3. I have watched 3, and I'm really enjoying the series. I like how more accurate it is than the movies. Anyway, I like that the series is closer to the books. I like that the actors are actually close in age to the characters. I feel like it's going in a very good direction. I'm very excited to see where the rest of this season goes. And I really hope more of the series is made as well. That's it for that. The second bookish thought I have of December is I'm like going back and looking at all the books I read in 2023, and I don't remember reading them. Like I do, but like I'm like, oh, that was this year. I read that this year. And I just like, it's like I remember reading it, but I don't remember it being like that recent. Like the year went by so fast, but also it's like so insane to look at the books I read in January because it just felt like so long ago. So one of my goals in 2024 is to keep better track of the books I'm reading, because I thought I was keeping good track. I definitely need to start writing down like little notes, because sometimes I write reviews, sometimes I don't. And then I kind of like forget exactly what I feel about books, which I already have started doing because I write notes as I'm reading now for my wrap-up videos. And it'll be nice to like look back at these like months and years from now when I'm like, what did I think about that book? And then I have notes in my Notion for it. So yeah, that is my December wrap up. It was, like I said, it was an all right reading month. I've had better. And I got a lot of books and I didn't pay for most of them. So that's a plus. And so yeah, that is the last wrap up of the year. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I'm still talking. That's it. Watch more of my videos. Okay, bye. Bailey, you gotta calm down, boo-boo. It's okay. I love you so much. Calm down. Bailey. Hey, I'm gonna sit with you. I just gotta do the thumbnail, okay? Oh my god, Bailey, my throat is so itchy. Ember, why you shaking at me? I know you had a bad day, but calm down, my man.